Hello everyone, here we have a very interesting Spectrum posting started by Theoretical. February 2025, you know why people are so cynical right now. I don't think people are cynical, I think people are waking up and realize how little Chris has achieved in year 13 with almost $1 billion. And yes, a few weeks ago Carl Jones said they are now at roughly $1 billion. I have helped the company to raise $1 billion from various sources including crowdfunding, investment, online game monetization, merchandise and partnerships. 4.0 is here, we don't have that as the next big thing to keep on a medium distance horizon to get any idea of what's on the way. It's been a goal for more than 4 years and we hit it. Good, right? According to Chris, 2016 SysMcon talk, we were supposed to get 4.0 at the beginning of 2018. 7 years ago.
There we go. And then finally, 4.0. So this is that'll be the first time we'll go beyond Stanton to other star systems. I'm not going to say how many star systems yet.
1.0 has been defined and it's so ungodly far away and vague in its details and top-down in scope that we can't assume any part of it is an active development or what parts of each feature come first, second or third. I can tell you that much, 1.0 will be a bare minimum product with just a few star systems, no NPC crews, missing basics, missing basic mechanics, almost no physics, and gameplay will be as boring and tedious as it is today. And even 1.0 is many years away. So why are people cynical? Again, people are not cynical, people are just realizing how little Chris has achieved in year 13 with $1 billion. Chris and CHE told us for 12 years what fantastic things are just around the corner, what fantastic things we are getting, and now we still have this buggy, laggy tech demo with so many missing mechanics. If we ever get even 10% of the stretch goals, it will be a wonder. It's February, you aren't giving us a scope for 4.1. No scope for 4.1 is not a problem. 4.1 won't be much better than what we have right now, which is a total mess. The progress tracker has been unusable and worthless for over 12 months. Correction, in February 2021, CHE called us roadmap watchers and removed the roadmap altogether. Not that the roadmap was ever any accurate. We are still missing things that were on the roadmap for 3.13 first quarter 2021. Yeah, 4 years ago, hacking tier 0. Whereas hacking tier 0 now, it vanished into the void. Or for example, 3.16 fourth quarter 2021, dynamic door and ramp alignment, which is very important because terrain is not flat. We don't want flat terrain. Where is dynamic door and ramp alignment now? It vanished into the void like many other things. The progress tracker has only one goal: to gaslight you. Progress tracker does not track progress. Progress tracker only tells you someone was working on something for a certain amount of time, but we don't know how far along a project is. If a bar ends in a progress tracker, it does not mean the project is finished. Just remember, we had BMM and Apollo on the progress tracker before, and many other things that are still nowhere to be found. Nussman wrote, I just want them to stop, to be honest, and get their basics together. Yes, you are starting a game with a good foundation, exactly what Chris said in 2016, but Chris never lived by it.
You know, if you take a look at Elite Dangerous, ultimately they say their final feature set isn't going to be dissimilar to some of the stuff that we're doing. But they've started with a much smaller set that they said, okay, this is the finished game, and now we're going to do a season pass, and now we're going to go down and be able to see planets and drive around them, and at some point we'll have multi-crew, at some point we'll have FPS. But the problem with that approach is that if you haven't engineered the system to do all those things from the beginning, you have to rebuild stuff and retrofit stuff, and that can be more difficult and take more time along the way. It's like if you know you're building a castle from the very beginning, you can lay the foundations right. But if you just build a little house and then you want to build on these additions to end up to a castle, sometimes you're going to have to knock it all down and start again and build it from the foundation. So we've sort of taken the latter approach. Like I said, both approaches are valid, which means that in the short run, things do take a little longer to get there. I think in the long run, it will end up in a better experience.
Chris, your game never had a good foundation, but you claimed in 2016 it has. Star Citizen is reworks of reworks of reworks of reworks of reworks, and Chris is knocking things down all the time. Fundamental shit like, why did we make a cargo deck? Why do we make players walk to the station in Stanton to get to the cargo deck, refinery, etc., but in Pyro they access it straight from the hangar? Why do we have move all buttons on our freight elevators that don't work? Why do we add planets with inhospitable atmospheres, but add villages and NPCs there that clearly would not survive? Yeah, we have burning campfires out in the open on Dema, a moon without oxygen, without anything in its atmosphere that would support a fire. We have NPCs living out in the open on moons and planets that are way too hot or way too cold. Sometimes it feels like scientific illiteracy is a job requirement when someone wants to work at CIG. Sorry. Why didn't we add the target name and distance to the cast target MFDs? Because Chris wants to make an interactive movie, not a fun and interesting game. UI is in the style of Iron Man movie, which works for a movie, but not for a game. One of the worst user-unfriendly UIs I've ever seen in any game, and this after last year's rework. CIG hired a person who made this UI directly after his education. He never worked on any game. Why do we make ships light themselves up like Christmas trees on landing when Corsair proved that this was optional when it released? You can ask the same question, why do we have so many lights on armor pieces, on player armor pieces, that we cannot even turn off? Those lights make you a very nice target in dark areas or at night. This is so silly. First rule of war, you want to be seen, right? Why do we make traders get out of their ships to stand at terminals unable to defend themselves? I would go a step further. You have to go manually to a trading console to buy and sell goods. In these days, we can buy and sell almost everything using our smartphone, but 900 years into our future, we have to walk to a specific console. 10 out of 10, Chris. By the way, link to this is my first pinned comment below. I want to talk about why we have all those problems. Because Chris, CIG never have a plan, never have a concept, never think in advance, never think things through. There can always be dead ends, of course. Not everything can be planned perfectly in advance. I understand this. However, having no plan, no concept is really, really bad. And we have, of course, little Chris. Chris has his morning coffee, has a fantastic new idea, something he saw in another game or in a movie, and wants to put it into Star Citizen. Chris puts people onto his fantastic new idea only to throw everything into the trash 1 to 5 years later. See, for example, cargo decks, see, for example, shield effects, etc., etc. Chris has wasted tens of millions of dollars by himself. Here's information from someone who worked for CIG. Take this with a grain of salt. I cannot guarantee that this person really worked for CIG. However, this pretty much confirms what you can read on Glassdoor and from other ex-employees. He can't give too many details because of NDA, but he says he's extremely overwhelmed and things aren't going well. He said release date of 4.0 was planned for March, but it was brought forward to the pressure from US teams. He said that about 25 freelance coders left 2 days ago and were somehow brought back to work. He also said work schedule is extremely irregular and they are constantly assigned to random tasks within the teams. This is well known. CIG likes to move people around, which of course is not exactly very efficient if people always have to start over in different teams. In addition to all the other problems, CIG's engine, Star Engine, is now old, ancient tech. CIG's code is terrible with quick and dirty quote-unquote fixes, several layers on top of each other. No one understands this code anymore. Removing people who know what they are doing, and John Pritchard is by far not the only one, and replacing them with cheap, young, inexperienced people surely works. Right, Chris? I am all for giving young, inexperienced people a chance. They need a chance, but they need people around them that can lead them. But there are not many experienced people left working for CIG. I spent a lot of money on Star Citizen. I am way past concierge. I was stupid. I believed in lies of Chris and CIG. But there's one thing you can do. You can stop throwing good money after bad money. If things improve, I will surely buy ships again. I will give Chris money again. There would be some requirements for this, though. Chris, you have to get rid of the no fun, slow master mode. Chris, you have to give us a decent UI, HUD and MFD. We need a decent inventory and item interaction system. We need fun and interesting gameplay, not boring, repetitive missions. Every bunker looks the same, every distribution center looks the same. That's so low effort, Chris. And we need less time sinks, not more time sinks, but more time sinks are coming, including permadeath. I challenge you, Chris, to go through with this. This will be the last nail in the coffin of Star Citizen. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
No.
Hi, I'm Mark Hamill. Though starring in Wing Commander, I'm also featured on Mask of the Phantasm.
Wow.
Now, this can be yours for
Oh, troublemaker.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that top.
Look at that. That's real plastic, too. That is. See, what you do is you open it.
Towards Billy Butler.
You open it, and then you smell the plastic. Oh, that was a good week. Very good week.
Hey, if you got those plastic champagne glasses we asked for.
Oh, dear me.
There you go, Tom.
That's very kind of you. You didn't have to do that. This would be just fine. The way I drink.
Oh, Cliff.
Hey, don't start with me, Bernard. Thank you. That's very nice. Man, if you people weren't in costume.
Chris isn't.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SC.